And here we have it, ladies and gentlemen, the first Trump trick bag. Okay, basically, so we have an article. I know there are several articles, but here's one that I see. Trump administration will offer all 2 million federal, I didn't know it was just 2 million of us. I thought it was more. Anyway, Trump administration will offer all 2 million federal workers a buyout to resign. A senior administration official said that they expect 5 to 10% of the federal workforce to quit behind this. This article says President DT's administration is set to offer every single federal worker the chance to take a quote unquote deferred resignation, not deferred retirement. Don't get tricked with the trick bag. A deferred resignation with a severance package of roughly 8 months of pay and benefits. Wow, 8 whole months? That is truly, truly, truly outrageous, as Jim likes to say. It goes on to say a senior administration official said that they expect 5 to 10% of the federal workforce to quit. Anyway, let's go on. I guess, quote, in this email that was sent out, it said that American taxpayers pay for the salaries of federal government employees. Yes, that's true. I mean, where else is the money going to come from? We support the people regardless of what some of you out there believe. We do work hard. And we do have some bad apples, but the majority of federal employees do work hard. Before you non-federal employees get in my comments with that ridiculousness. Anyway, I go on. And therefore deserve employees working on their behalf who actually show up to work in our wonderful federal buildings. Okay, first of all, we're not going to talk about the wonderful rat-infested federal buildings in D.C., and that is not the fault of the federal employee that caused that, okay? So anyway, and let's go back to this, therefore deserve employees working on their behalf to show up to work. We show up every day. Just because I sign on at 7 a.m. on my computer in my home office doesn't mean I'm not showing up. I'm going to show up just as I do at 7 a.m. when I sign on to work hard, just as I will as if I show up to the office. And let me just say, most of us have no problem with going back into the office. It's not an issue. Just let us know where we need to go and when we need to go back, which they are doing, but it's so much of a mess thrown on these agency heads that they have to figure it out. Anyway, let me go back. If they don't want to work in the office and contribute to making America great again, here he go. Because, we're not working and we're not making America great again by working hard from home. I mean, just because we're not down there buying those expensive lunches and whatever and spending all our money means we're not making America great again by going to lunch, You lose more time. Let me just say, for the record, when I worked in the D.C. area, and I'm just going to say it, sometimes lunch hours extended on into an hour and a half, down there kikiing and hee-heeing, spending all that money downtown D.C. on those extended lunch hours, not getting as much work as I would get done that I'm doing at home. Okay, let me just put that out there. Okay. Since we offering trick bags and stuff. Okay, so anyway, they are free to choose a different line of work. Okay, most federal employees absolutely love the work that we do. We love working for the taxpayers. We love serving the country. So that little snide remark is not necessary. If we wanted to find another job, then we would have done it. But let me go back. And the Trump administration will provide a very generous payout of 8 months. Okay, so before you all non-feds get in my comment section with that mess, I want you to think about your little $60,000 job that you earn.
Damn.
and if you got an 8-month severance pay and how the future for you is going to be looking after that. I mean, let me know, because that's not very generous at all. It's ridiculous and it's insulting, and this stuff is getting out of hand. But let me go back. The offer is set up to go out to the federal workforce through a new system. What new system? I mean, without going into much detail, I think most federal employees have gotten the direct communication email from OPM by now, which we all playfully say that's the way we're going to get our pink slips. But I guess that's the new system that he is talking about. I don't know. Anyway, the Trump administration set up that gives officials the ability to email every single employee at once. Yeah, that's what they're talking about. That's new system. It didn't take much to just create anyway, let me in the email will be a draft resignation letter for the federal employees to review. If a person wishes to resign, they will be able to reply with the word resign. Are you freaking kidding me, yo? Okay, that that doesn't make any sense. First of all, that just screams to me violation. What about being hacked? Anybody, that logic, anybody can hack into my, weekend employee, IT system, VPN or whatever, and just hit resign on my, on my email. That might not even be me. So what if somebody hacks in to somebody's account and just hit resign? And that person didn't want to resign. Oh, that is terrible. This popcorn microwave administrative policy and guidance is not going to work, and it's going to get a lot of people potentially in trouble, a lot of people in litigation. That is an absolutely terrible thing way to even set that up. The resignation period will begin Tuesday and go through February 6th. Federal family, just guard your access cards that we use to get into our computers. Don't leave your computer for a minute, whether you're working at home or in the office. Be cognizant of any kind of, unusual IT activity that's coming on between these days. I'm sorry. You just got to be on the defensive. And this is just terribly awful. We shouldn't have to be on the defensive like this. This is the most ridiculous concept of a quick way to try to downsize the federal government. And first, who gonna take 8 months of severance pay? And then what? Being unemployed? And then what? You have all these unemployed people looking for work at the same time with the same skill set? Come on. And you gotta love this last part of this sweetheart email. Quote, if you choose to remain in your current position, we thank you for your renewed focus on serving the American people to the best of your abilities and look forward to working together as a part of an improved federal workforce. Reads the email that will be sent to federal workers. At this time, we cannot give you full assurance regarding the certainty of your position. The threats just keep coming. This is awful. An agency, but should your position be eliminated, you will be treated with dignity and with be afforded the protections in place for such positions. This is what y'all voted for. And, for the people that are non-feds that are in the comments saying, thinking that federal employees are the enemy. No, the majority of federal employees are not. Look, I can't even. The majority of federal employees are not. We love our country. We love the agencies that we work for. We love the programs and missions that we support. And this is just wrong. It's so distasteful. It's so disrespectful, and it's so ludicrous. And once he gets through with the federal workforce and company, there will be room for the focus to be on other people, on other folks, on other classes.
I hate that I voted for him. Now I'm so scared for my family.
So while you over there cheering this on and thinking this is, the right thing, and this concept, which is clearly the apartheid dude, I can't even say his name, his idea, that's who y'all gonna be dealing with. It's ridiculous. And look at this. OPM, of course, already has guidance out, which I'm not surprised, because all of these memos have been just written for years and sitting in some dusty ass closet, just waiting to be dated, waiting for Trump to get into office and for this stuff to be dated and rolled out. So I'm not surprised by any of this. It's just the audacity is, just crazy. I got 1 week basically to decide. Okay. In addition, each week, no later than Friday at 5 p.m. through September 30th, agency should email tracking at OPM for the following information: the number of employees who have offered their resignation as part of a deferred resignation program, the number of agency employees who are part of the deferred resignation program are placed on administrative leave. Yeah, that sounds nice, but hell no. Okay, the number of agency employees who have applied for early and normal retirements since January 27th. Okay, those are the people, I think where they're going to get a lot of movement on, because this is, and the number of agency employees who have actually resigned, and whether or not such employee had previously accepted to the deferred program beginning. Okay. So basically, the number of employees who have sought to rescind their resignations and the status of each request. Jesus. I mean, that kind of makes me scared, going back to that. The number of employees who has sought to rescind their resignation. Why would they rescind? That make me think that somebody just inadvertently or somehow was communicated some way, not by this employee or on accident, that the employee hit that accept or whatever the word was, that one word reply to this email. Absolutely crazy. And it's all making sense now with that, as to why OPM was emailing us individually, because again, they've had this, Heritage and Company and the mandate. They've had all this set up for years, decades, and they've just been waiting, for this moment, this administration to just go ahead and fire this stuff off. But wow. Let's see, the number of applications to extend the deferred, blah, blah. The number of applications from potential retirees to extend. Okay. It's the deferred resignation program. Hot damn. Then I got a question and answer on this thing. Why is the federal government offering deferred resignation to federal workplace? Because they're trying to cut it down. And for those of you who aren't federal employees, I get, you're in support of this, but who is going to process your paperwork? Who's going to process your health care? Who's going to process your documents? Who's going to get you in to see those providers and get you the care that you need? All of the things that the federal government do. Who's going to get you your entitlement benefits? I mean, they can do away with some of those, but I'm just saying, the backlog that exists now in certain areas and services of federal government, of which you need and rely on, which you're not thinking about, that's about to be slowed down to years, from months to years. Who is eligible? Everybody's eligible who's a federal employee. What do we do if employees did not receive the email? Don't ask. Don't hit the button. Don't do nothing, because you don't want to inadvertently send the one word reply saying I accept, or to resign, or whatever the word was. What happens if employees do not respond to this email or accept the deferred resignation? Nothing. Y'all see that? That's in writing. Employees who have no obligation to respond to the email accepting deferred resignation is in employee's sole discretion and completed voluntarily. I still don't, that trick bag is trick bag. And for employees who become ineligible, blah, blah, blah. Employees who become eligible, early retirement, nope. How would you handle employees who were on approved leave during this? Nope. If an employee decides after February 6th that they would like to resign, will they still be allowed to? A deferred resignation will generally not be available to those who resign after February 6th. I'm going to need to go on leave. No, I can't even go on leave because I don't even trust in my email box will, not be tampered with. Come back and they be like, thank you for signing up for the deferred retirement program. We start sending you your checks in 2 months for 3 months. Trick bag. If an employee resigns and later changes their mind, will the employee be able to rescind their resignation? Employees have the right to request a rescission of their resignation at any time. Request. And the employee agency will need to review such rescission. So that's basically a no. I mean, not with the heads of these agencies who are loyalists and all of that. They ain't no. Once you hit that button, may employees accelerate their resignation date to earlier than September 30th? Yes, they can. Wow. Can employees extend their final? Nope. Well, let's see. The terms of the deferred resignation letter do not allow for an extension for the, yeah, because I would go ahead on and extend mine out to my MRA, my minimum retirement age. If we can get an extension, I'll sit at home and collect severance pay for the next years, how many that I have left before I can get to my MRA. Let's see what else. Can employees get another job outside of their current employing agency during the period between submission of their resignation and the final resignation date? Nothing in the deferred resignation letter prevents agency employees from seeking employment during the period from submittal of their resignation to their final resignation date. Employee agencies should assess what restrictions, if any. So you can get a job while you on this deferred retirement, but again, and that might work for some people. That might work for some people who are just fed up and they want to go. They want to, they're either close to retirement or can retire and they want to, jump in on this opportunity. And for that, I'm with you, go ahead and do that if that's your position. And then, or if you want to you've been tired and you've been wanting to get out and you want to go ahead and find another job. This might work for some people. It's not going to I don't think an upwards of 10% of the federal employment force, but hey, it might. Can employees return to work in the federal government? Deferred resignation does not affect employees' abilities to apply for federal government in the future. But we have a hiring freeze that I said in a previous video. I think it's going to go through longer than, past this year. So, why? I mean, because why? Why would they downsize? Well, I have some thoughts about that. But in general, why would they downsize federal government, freeze hiring, only to open it back up again? If the point is to cut the expense of federal employees' salaries, which contribute so much to this overspending, then they're not gonna rehire. They're not. It's just. Let's see. How will employees know their resignations have been received and accepted? Employees will receive an email confirming receipt with additional information on next steps. See that right there? That just scares me because, we just hacking, just lines getting crossed and stuff. There's somebody human on the other end of this email inbox accepting these one word, I whatever it is, I gotta go back. I accept the resignation and just the concept of, returning all feds to the office, because allegedly we don't do any work at home. But now you want to pay us to not do any work at home for 8 months. What is it that you want? You want us to work or to be paid not to work or what? And what about my health insurance? What about health insurance? What are we supposed to do? Get the Cobra that's going to probably cost double that? Where we're have to cover the cost of what the employer pays and what we pay, and we don't have no money coming in. What is this? This has to be for people who are getting ready to retire and they're just pushing them to go ahead and drop their paperwork. I don't know. What do you think? You better think about this, fellow feds, before you even consider that. Like I said, your health insurance is going to run out. The market is very dusty and very expensively dusty. And, if you have any pre-existing conditions, you can hang that up. You can hang that up. When we have no jobs, when we're pushed out and we're terminated, and when I say we, I'm talking about a certain subset of people. Not everybody's going to go and backfill those immigrant jobs once y'all get rid of them. Yeah, it's not going to happen. You think everybody's going to be that desperate, but they're not. A lot of people have been planning and being prepared, but everybody's not going to do that, especially highly skilled federal civilian servants who are committed to this country, who have been in their roles for years, for decades. They're not just going to roll over and go pick the vegetation that we're now going to be short of because you hauling everybody out. Woo! It's a trick bag.